Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you my predictions for week 4. We've already got a few surprises, so let's check out to see if there's going to be any more. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean and this is my prediction kind of stupid show. I have kind of got, I'm not feeling the best because I got the jab yesterday. I'm not feeling all that great. Well, I'm feeling alright, but in fairness, but if things don't seem as high production as they usually are, okay, and yeah, I can't even get away from that. Anyway, as I said, if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. You follow me on Twitter and MLS Watcher and all that kind of stuff. And these are my predictions, and I got a few correct last week. I didn't do too bad. Saying that, New York, I got New York to beat Chicago Fire. I did say 2-1, but it ended 2-all. I predicted a draw against Montreal and Columbus Crew. I got that one. I predicted New England to beat Atlanta. I got that one correct. Orlando to beat Cincinnati. I got that correct. I got Dallas beaten. I got Portland beating FC Dallas wrong. I got Philadelphia beating Inter Miami wrong as well. But we'll gloss all over that. San Jose got that one. I don't think it's all going to end 4-1, but you know, those are the fucking cracks. So might as well get into it, you know, because you've been wanting to see these. Because the first game is Real Salt Lake against San Jose Earthquakes. Tis an interesting game. The Real Salt Lake is the favourite coming into this game at 10-11. So saying that, they are better at home. They only played one game at home, whereas San Jose has lost their only away game. So when you think about it, you know, so I'll go for like a 3-2, just for the fact that Real Salt Lake are probably a better team at home, even though I didn't say that last time, and they beat Sporting Kansas City, so that was not a bad result. Whereas, you know, San Jose Earthquakes are still, like I said, are kind of an up and down team. They're not really a consistent team at this moment. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 3-2, a good high scoring game. The next one is Chicago Fire against Philadelphia. Now, before I would have said Philadelphia would have won this game quite comfortably and quite easily, like I did for like the last 3 games. I said Philadelphia winning, and then they kind of let me down in 2 of them. But I don't hudge grudges. So saying that, Chicago Fire at home, even though that they're not particularly the favourites, well, probably would be the favourites with 23-20, so they probably are the favourites going into this. But I think it's going to be like a 1-all draw, just for the fact that I think Philadelphia now have time off until now to the next Champions League game. I think it's not until August or something like that, and I think they're going to get more into the league and they're going to start getting at it. So I'm going to go for like a 1-all draw. So that makes sense. Chicago Fire probably at home probably would do a bit better, so yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-all draw in that one. The next one is New York City against Toronto. Toronto haven't won a game away this season. Last week, how did Toronto do? I don't think they done very well. They got beaten in the Champions League a couple of days ago, or last night. I don't think Toronto played last week. Anyway, Toronto coming up against the New York Red Bull team, who won their last game. So saying that, New York Red Bulls, I'm going to have prediction of 1-0 to New York Red Bull. Toronto don't really seem to, not going to say excite me this season, but I think New York Red Bull is probably going to be a bit more catered for them, because the way they press, even though they haven't impressed me the way they press, Jesus, a lot of words that they say the same. I still think they're going to win this one, and they are favourites to win this one at even odds. So yeah, I'm going to go for that one. Next one is Columbus Crew against DC United. DC United played 2 away games and they lost them both, whereas Columbus Crew drew their home game. So saying that, they are the favourites, clear favourites going into this game to beat DC United. Saying that, Columbus Crew haven't scored at home yet. Again, I think they've only played 2 games this season, so saying that, I'm going to go for a Columbus Crew 3-0 win. They're just a far better team, and I don't think DC United really are going to do much this season. Sorry, DC United, even though they just beat New York City FC at the start of the season, but I just don't see it. So sorry about that. The next one is Nashville against joint top New England Revolution. I don't think I would ever say that in a long time anyway, not for a while. So yeah, Nashville have played 3 games at home and drew every single one of them, whereas New England has played 1 game away and drew that one as well. But for the fact that New England are probably a better team, whereas Nashville are probably, I think they're second to last in the whole Supporter Shield at the moment, I'm going to go for a 2-0 to New England. I just think they're a far better team currently at the moment, and whereas Nashville aren't. They have a very good defender in Zimmerman, even though he should have been probably sent off last week. But saying that, yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. The next one is Vancouver against Montreal. A good wee game. It's going to be on quite a good time here. Might get to watch it. So saying that, Vancouver are, well, who are the favourites? Montreal is probably the favourite coming into this one in the betting thingies. So saying that, I probably kind of went along with it, as whereas Montreal probably are the better team, whereas Vancouver have won 1 game and lost 1 game at home, whereas Montreal's only, well, we can't really say it's at home because it's all in Orlando or Florida, wherever, I can't remember where they are, somewhere in Florida. So yeah, I'm going to go for a Montreal 3-2 win on this one, just for the fact that I think their manager has got them playing quite well, whereas Montreal, maybe Vancouver are just, it's not really a home game to them, if that makes any sense. They don't really have their home fans behind them and all that kind of stuff, whereas Montreal, you know what I mean, both of them, it's kind of like their home games. So the next one is just seeing this. The next one is Dallas against Houston, a Texas derby. Every time I say Dallas is going to lose, they win, and every time I say they're going to win, they lose. So if you're a betting person, I would listen up straight away. FC Dallas are the favourites coming into this one. FC Dallas have won 1 game, lost 1 game, drew 1 game, sorry, at home, whereas Houston have lost their 1 game away from home this season. So saying that, I'm going to go for a FC Dallas 1-0 win, just for the fact that I'd probably say that they would lose, but I'm going to go for when they're going to win. That makes sense. But I do think they're going to probably win this game, and I think it's going to be a kind of like a dull, it's going to be a dull game. So I'm going to go for like a 1-0 win. The next one is Orlando against New York City, the MLS rivalry, the one that MLS is basically trying to pump into the TVs that this is the biggest rivalry. Anyway, rivalry. I don't see it. But Orlando against New York City, both have been good and kind of are good home or away this season. Like I said, New York City FC are probably in a good place this time than they were last season, but they're coming up against a Orlando team who are probably in a better shape than they were a couple of seasons ago. Coming into this game, Orlando is the favourites to win this game, as I predicted, but I think it's going to be like a 2-2 draw. I think Ronnie Della has them playing a bit better now than they were last season, but Orlando are probably missing Pato, I think, even though he wasn't really that big of a presence really in other other teams, but I think he's done very well in the first game of the season. So I think they're kind of going to miss that, but I still think they're going to score. So yeah, I'm going to go for like my 2-2 draw. The next one is El Tráfico, another rivalry. LA Galaxy against LAFC. LA Galaxy coming into this one are not the favourites, which is weird because they have been playing very well, even though they lost last week. Wasn't it last week? Yeah, they got spanked by Seattle Sounders, but they won their other 2 games quite comfortably. So this game is kind of be a bit of a up or down one. I'm predicting a 2-1 win to LAFC, not for the fact that they are favourites in this, but I just think they have the better team, and I think LA Galaxy's confidence coming into this game is kind of going to be kind of knocked back a bit coming in because of that loss to Seattle. So that's my kind of idea for that. They are a better team, and I do think they will score a few goals. They're going to have a lot of chances, that's what I mean, sorry. But I think LAFC are the probably better team coming into this one. Sorry. The next one is Colorado against Minnesota. Colorado against Minnesota is not really going to be the biggest exciting game. It's on 3 o'clock, so I don't think I'll really be watching that as well, which is unfortunate because I want to see these teams kind of play, because it kind of helps me in this and it kind of helps me in what I try to do. So, but as I'm not really going to be watching this much, I think Colorado is probably going to be the favourites to win this, as I'm going to go for a 1-0 win, and they're 17-20 to win this one. So Colorado Rapids 1-0 win. Next one is Inter Miami against Atlanta. Inter against Atlanta. Inter are the favourites coming into this one at 17-20. I predicted for them to win 2-0. I just don't think Atlanta are where they want to be at this moment. I don't think their team is solid enough from really to win this one, as Higuain is now back in training again for Inter. I think he will be starting this weekend, and he probably will bag a goal, preferably a penalty, for getting fouled in the box. So I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win for Inter Miami. They are hugely favourites to win this game. The next one is the Cascadia Cup, which is Portland against Seattle. Portland at home, coming up against a very, very strong team, even though Portland has won their one game at home, whereas Seattle drew their away game. Saying that, Seattle probably are the favourites. Actually, the odds are not too dissimilar, but I think Seattle Sounders are too strong to win this one. Sorry. So I'm going to predict they're going to win this one 3-0. Sorry, Portland. He's let me down plenty of time. Sorry about that. The next one is Sporting Kansas City and against Austin. This is the last game of the week. This is going to be on like 12 in the morning. So Sporting Kansas City are the favourites coming into this one, and I agree. As where they are they are the better team, even though they're one game at home they drew, whereas Austin lost then 1-1. So the 1 or 2 games, the last games, which is pretty impressive, all things considered. They've been playing away from home for quite a while, and they're probably getting into the swing of things, even though they only beat Minnesota. So I wouldn't say it's a great, but they're coming up against Sporting Kansas City, who are a very good team. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Sporting Kansas City. They have Johnny Russell probably coming back, and they're starting to play like a proper team from the game I seen last week. So yeah, so I'm going to go for that, even though they lost last week against Real Salt Lake, but the game before that's what I meant. So yeah, that is my predictions. I hope you enjoyed them. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to God I see you on the next one.